Hello, welcome back to my next episode of ATM Gravitas 2. We are coming up on episode, I think this is 19. We actually are quite close to the 500 day mark. We're at 494. So I will plan to kind of do my first like 20 episodes into like a compact movie, I'm thinking. But in the meantime, we are here. I got a stack of uh, iron, apparently. Let me put this back. I'm staring at it. Got a stack here of black bronze, and I'm gonna rush through the blue steel, the black steel, and the blue steel here, just as a quick montage here, because I hate this. I loathe it with a passion. It's fun. TFC can be fun with this, but I don't. This is not the part that I want to focus on. We're gonna get blue steel. We're going to get our diesel production started, and we're gonna start working on filling out our majestic building here. And I'm so excited to actually put some stuff down in here, and I've been keeping up some miners here and then one over yonder way past that have been getting me resources. So first up, I am going to work on this blue steel black steel combo. I really like to use the quests here for this because I have no patience for it. So we are going to first aim for the black steel item, which when you look at how these are crafted, it's going to be both the it's going to be welding together basically pig iron and weak steel. Weak steel, when you cast it, is an alloy of steel, nickel, and black bronze. So I'm just going to try to bulk make some items here because I don't like to do this more than a few times. And in time, when we get to like, I believe HV, we'll be able to process blue steel faster that way. So yeah, let's get to it. Okay, so I was able to make the blue steel double dealio, and I made enough to straight up make the blue steel anvil, but I don't want to. So I'm gonna hold off for the moment. And yeah, my goal is, now that I got the blue steel, I'm gonna make one blaze burner and start working on processing the oil. Luckily, we do have a very close connection to blaze burners in the Nether. So the biggest problem is I don't have a lot of health. So let's just run in there and get out. But hey guys, nice to see you. You guys are terrifying. Thank you. Bye. Alright, let's get this distillation tower set up. And I did find out news that the rock crushers, I can make my my items here in Steam. So what I was seeing when I was talking with the folks is if it's 30 EU per tick, can be run off of Steam. My biggest concern is those rock crushers you might see have lava next to them, and I don't want to accidentally make an oopsie. And I did find our first train conductor. So if we do make block pallet here, this is our first train conductor, Jeffrey. Sorry, Jeffrey, stay in there. So he's name tagged and ready to go. And then when I'm looking at this oil and processing the oil, I was trying to figure out where I'd want it. And should we put it out over here for oil processing? This is the last little space we could build. We could make like a little fake silo or circle here. and build up, and then work with that. That could be an option. Such consideration. All right, I'm gonna grab my create setups over here. Here we are, fluid tanks and other stuff, and we need to make a distillation controller. And this is from Create. So it does require a clock, which is that brass mechanism I see as being a more irritating thing. But luckily I can make, I can't make the extruder mold. I think I have a brass mechanism, one or two somewhere. So I just need this to be a little itty bitty guy. And it makes 4 at a time, so that should be more than enough. Okay, so looking at this diesel engine, one item is the polished blackstone. So I did go into the nether and grab some more of this. So I'm going to make 6 to start for that because that'll be more than enough for 3 of these. And we just need to get some more flint and steel. So let me grab some more steel. I think, well, I know I have more than enough. So I'm just going to grab 3 of these, just assuming I'm making 3 of these at a minimum. It's finally nice to be able to look at these as a potential future and not just you know? Getting closer. That's all I want to say. Alright, this could be a waste because I don't know if the alloy smelter is going to do this, but I'm likely going to need a casting mold for a block anyway sometime soon. So I might as well see. Alloy smelter here, this and here. Ooh, it did work. Excellent. Block of brass and one more. Man, that's fast. And I'll need more brass if I want to actually make the 3, unfortunately. I'm just seeing. Future problem. Okay, so we should be able to make our engine now. We can make 3 of those. Perfect. And then I want to use these to make the fancier versions. Alright, modular diesel engines. Let's make these. And the reason I like these, the reason I want these in particular, is I think they're just so cool. They look very similar to me to the steam engines, so they have like a interesting... Well, no, these ones don't look too similar to the steam engines, but I only have to input on one to run the whole line, and I think that's going to be very, very helpful. The huge the huge diesel engines, those ones look like steam engines, but they cannot be silenced. So that's the reason why we're not going for these, because this is more of like a... These ones would be more like in an actual powerhouse, because they are so loud that they would probably make us miserable, I'm gonna be honest. Hey, Jeffrey! Hey, guy! You know you're supposed to be inside, hun. You only have 20 health, so you could die at any moment. Okay, I'm just gonna use a crank to start, and we'll get this figured out so it's automatic a little later, but I just want to get that, those engines going to see what I want to do. Alright, let's see what we got going on here. Okay, so it looks like I was able to get it to drain in, but I'm not sure if I needed it to go down one more. Shoot. Alright, and we will just put in a... I think I'm just going to use charcoal here to test this, because I haven't tested this version. I've tested using the TFC forge and realized it wasn't going to work. So if I feed him some stuff, see, it's looks like it's going up, and I'm getting diesel and gasoline from both of these. And I should be able to use these either in my machine, both of these. So neither is like a full-on waste. I think just diesel's a little bit stronger. And I just have this continuously draining in here, so it'll stop when these are full. Which is great. So now I'm curious on if I can just keep going upwards, or if I need to expand. I'm wondering if these can turn into these once I add these a little later, or if it's later. So let's, I'm going to take these off for the moment. I'm going to need more of these distillation controllers, which is those clocks. I really hate those brass mechanisms. So the extruder, however, I can't do. So yeah, let's see how these go. I guess is my question. I always get curious, will this feed itself out of here, you know? I don't care which one it takes, so I don't need this one to have... Oop. I think I just need to... No, I just don't need you. So I just gotta remember to click outside of this space. And this should run all three of these. I just need to give it a little bit of a boost with a crank. I think I have one of those. Didn't I just have one? Did I leave it over on the other spot? I'm gonna go get one of the three apparently I've made. Who really needs to know where everything is? Alright. And let's give this a little oomphda. It looks like it will not let me use multiple, so that's good to know. I just need these to kickstart. This is hilarious. Guys, look at this. We got 1200 SU from this. I mean, we are pretty much... It's not the worst speed, but yeah, there it should be. I got gasoline still, so I need to get that out of this system because it's pissed about it. I think I'd be happy if there was an off system. Let me just Okay, so I was just taking a quick look at some stuff. We got our diesel engines, which I think is going to be awesome. And I'm thinking that I'm going to put like an outpost processing thing over here in this space. I think, you know, I don't want it in that building is the answer. And we're going to have enough oil that we'll have to do some processing. Oh my, that looks a lot more than what I thought it was. I read that as 121,000 buckets. I was like, oh my god, I broke it. But yeah, so we'll put it over here, and I'll get some more of the workup on that building going on, and then I am going to start getting the next steps to getting into our LV system here. With the LV system, one of the things that's slowing it, no, not slowing us down, but going to switch up our processing plan is we need to learn how to make these basic electric circuits here. And one of those things is to get a decent amount of rubber. Previously, I was going to process this later, once we got the next machine level, but since we got the blaze burners, I might as well make a little build for this as well, probably right here. It's just going to be a little guy, and it'll help us process out these buckets. Okay, so lots of building planned for this episode. So much building planned. Oh my gosh, the goggles, they're terrible. I was supposed to have... I'm a little sad today. I was supposed to have a delivery of my new computer today to test out some new fun stuff for these, but alas, it got delayed. So, it's supposed to be here in the next tomorrow, potentially. Here's hoping. Well, this is cursed. Definitely not my usual style. I want some more rubber, so I have this processing here. And I just put a Greg Tech machine over here. I'll build something a little bit better once I get some lines throughout here, but for your knowledge, I just have a drum of creosote onto a Greg Tech pipe to drain in here. And then I just threw a box of a few thousand small sulfur dust that drop into the basin. And then this is just set to remove only the sticky resin. So yeah, we're just making sticky resin. That's the answer. We needed it. Looks like some of it's still sticking here, so this part might not be working out quite yet. I've been getting a lot of the sticky resin with the ugly setup, so I'm just gonna make sure I grind this down. We got 166 in there, so let's put it through this machine. See what we get. All right, 326, that's excellent. So this is currently turned off. It's a Greg Tech item pipe just to pull out the sticky resin when it's done. This just has a little item filter in here for only allowing whitelisting sticky resin. One thing I'm going to get is work on those steel tank from Railcraft because we need one of those. So that's a tank wall, steel tank, I believe. Yep, so the white ones are the default, so we're going to make some of these. We get 8 per stack, so I do tend to prefer these bigger. You can make them in, I believe, a 9x9x8. Let me just quickly look at the largest Steelcraft tanks are very big. We don't need full ones right yet. They can go up to a 9x9 from 4 to 8 feet tall. So let's aim for 5x5s to start with, and maybe 5x5x5. We'll see what we can do. We have 3 things I want in the railcraft tanks. I would like creosote, I would like create oil, and create diesel. But let's go with creosote to start, just so we can keep that thing running a little bit more consistent. And for your knowledge, the frame of one of these things needs to always be the frame of a rail craft station needs to be out of the tank walls. It can't be made out of anything different. Big investment on our part. I'm so nervous about making trains. I think that's kind of holding me up on where my next steps are. But we'll get there. I'm not afraid to move stuff, as I'm sure if you've seen me play this, you might notice. Alright, so here's our first tank. This is what space we got. This is gonna work really quite well with our coke oven here. I believe I have stuff for 2 coke ovens. Let me just check here. Let's just put some clay and sand into the alloy smelter. We've been working on building those, and I will almost always want doubles, if not quads, of this, but doubles is probably what we'll end up with. I'm thinking I'm gonna set up the automation for the GregTech coke ovens over here. And that'll work. We'll keep it in line with like creation of rubber and all those fun things. So I'm just expanding this area out, and I do plan on having like a little build around a create dealio here. Sorry, this type is set up, but I just need to finagle it better. So for the moment, I'm just gonna make some space and then get a set of double coke ovens in here. And then we'll make just a small little build around it. All of these things I would consider pretty hot / like really not something you'd want to enclose in a building. So that's kind of why I'm justifying a lot of this. I'm wondering, do we see the zombie piglin in here at all? I haven't seen Joffrey in a while, so I think he passed away. Let's take a look at this machine. So I can share a wall with the coke oven, so that is something I really find cool. I got 2 coke ovens and I got 2 hatches. And then I got a bunch of extra nonsense in my pockets. Alright, so let's see here. So 1 coke oven is a 3x3. And if you're going to share a wall, this would be my shared internal wall. It turns into a 3x5, I believe. Yep, a 3x5. And choosing how we want to set this up, I think... I might put it over here so it faces in between these trees, because that feels like a really good symmetry option. I know I shouldn't be aiming towards symmetry, and yet my soul demands it. Okay, so here's the start of this that I want. I like to always leave like a space, so 1, 2, those aren't the right blocks. Alright, take those off, get the coke oven bricks out. Perfect. So we want 1, 2, 3. And I wanted it to start 1 back, actually. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll build this guy. I'm going to put the 2 coke oven hatches in, which I plan to put on right here. Not hatches, coke oven delios here. And then I was curious on if I could use the hatches on the middle one instead of the side one. So there's 2 things we want to pull from here. One is going to be coke oven stuff. That's not the right thing. And one's going to be creosote, and one's going to be the coke oven, the charcoal. So I've never tried to use the hatches with this per se, with this type of breakdown, so I'm intrigued. And the coke ovens themselves get covered tops. And okay, so it's registering them as formed and incomplete. It's kind of interesting that this one's formed. This one's registered as incomplete. Let's see if I were to remove this dealio, would the other one form? It does. Maybe we can't do shared walls anymore. Well, let's just say that's the case right now. I'm not positive if it is. So if you do know something that I don't, please let me know. If that's the case, where do I want my creosote to end up? Do I want to flip it the other way? No, I think I do want to put it over here. Like, let's see, I think I can put the hatches then on the top. Here. And for your knowledge, for the railed craft tanks, they do operate under a strict The input is on the top and the output is on the bottom. So having the output up here would actually be very helpful. And then here would be my cook oven hatch. Ooh. Okay, this one allowed me to share these this time. So you can do the shared walls. You just something about what I was up to earlier it didn't like, which is fine. All right, let's see here. So this would be my setup. The coke oven, I'm going to move this guy out of the way because it's not something I want to think about when I'm visualizing this. So I did a much longer stream this, I streamed for, gosh, what was it? 5.5 hours? It was really helpful, and we found a new location for our future base, which I am very excited about. I think the previous one I liked, but there was just a few core pieces that I didn't care for. One, I was just worried about things starting on fire, as you could imagine. And then the other thing I was worried about was that the main base soil that I was seeing used was diorite. And I don't necessarily know, I don't really want to be in diorite. So it was good to kind of be like, okay, well let's look to see if we can find something that's a non-diorite piece. Break it down now. Sorry, Shrek is going through my head a lot. You know about the swamp, you know about my problem with thinking about Shrek every time I'm here. It's alright, it's good that way. Oh my gosh, it is like 11 o'clock my night, so I apologize if I'm sleepy sounding. I've played Gravitas all day. And I am just testing some of this. Some of this I'm actually just not as knowledgeable on yet. So it'll be good to figure out. I would like to know an item filter. I believe I have one of those for Greg Tech. Excellent. And then I also want some drawers. What I'm thinking of doing is putting one item dealio here, one item there. I'd like to put a pipe in the middle. A acacia dealio on the top here, where it's pulling stuff, and then an acacia one on the bottom. And unfortunately, this did get nerfed on the primitive blast furnace, but I'm not sure if it'll be nerfed on this, because the blast furnace is trying to think of the word for this. Because of words, guys, because of words. I'm gonna take this one off because I want to use the one in my inventory, which is full of logs. So the other one got nerfed. I'm not sure if this one is because the hoppers are still usable. So I want to import here. I want to grab these and use them as a go by. Import, manual filtered. And okay, so I'm seeing stuff get put in there. 8, 5, most of it's going in here. I'm going to disconnect this one because I don't want any going in here. So I need to lock this with charcoal instead. So 16 and 16. And no charcoal yet. Come on, give me one piece of charcoal and then we'll see if this will work. And then the fluid's going to be up on the top. Yes. Alright, so here's my piece of charcoal. I'm going to use this key to lock it. And then put this here underneath. And my hope was that these would be able to pull from these as well. But currently I don't see that necessarily happening. So let's see if we can pull from up here. Do I have my create over here? Not yet, but let's grab create Delio. And do it so that this will throw stuff up in the air when it discharges. So yeah, so I can get the charcoal out of these hatches as well as the fluid. So isn't that kind of fun to see? You see it pop up. My first thought is I wanted to test if this hatch can go at the bottom and if this thing would still form. So if I put this here, and I put this over here, will it still form? It will. That is actually going to be really nice for us. So next thing I'm going to do is put the hatch here. So I have 2 hatches that will form here. The Pac was coming 2 hatches up on the top. So what I'm going to do is disconnect this pipe for me. So this one specifically is just pulling the whatchamacallit, is just pulling the the wood in on top with the conveyor. These hatches, I've noticed, I'm really hoping this is the case, but they almost seem to push items out, and I'm curious to see if that'll be the case or not. So I'm going to connect these to my guy here, which right now has 8. And you can see I have no charcoal in these, so this automatically pushes into my charcoal here. So I'm now clearing out the charcoal automatically, which is amazing. So now we just need to get the fluids out for the top section. So with that, I just want to think about creosote and check the temperatures. Creosote, and this is a Grey Tech creosote, which is 293. So let's check those wood pipes. The treated wood pipes, you can see they can handle 340. So creosote shouldn't burn them up. And we got 18, should be more than enough. And let's set up this this railcraft dealio. So I should have a decent amount of space. So I do like to walk in between stuff, but I'm not sure if I can do that here. And I will have more railcraft engines that I need, materials that I need. So I am in no case worried about not about needing more what's the word for it? About not having what I need here. Or having extras, what I'm trying to say badly. I will use it elsewhere. All right, we need 2 valves. One's going to be at the top here, and one will be at the bottom. So I'm going to put the valve here. It'll face up. It can't be in the outer wall for my memory. And then here, I will put a valve on this side as well. All right. Let's see if this forms. I may need it to be a little bit taller. Let's read what I was seeing about the railcraft. 3 by 3 by 4. This looks like 4. But this is not a 3 by 3. This is a 3 by... Okay, it's in increments. So I can do a 3 by 3 or a 5 by 3. So... So, gotta choose. Can't do the partial like this. It's not that awake for it. The height-wise, I think I can choose whatever between 4 and 8. But for the width-wise, I would need to choose... Does this form? This is a 4 by 4 again. Can't do math, guys. Can't do math. Okay, this will store 1,152 in this guy, which should be enough, you would think, for what we're up to. Let's start there, because I would like to use the rest for my oils instead. All right, and it's nice that these will auto-fill for us, so we're just going to connect these pipes here into the hatches, and then we should have this fully automated other than the wood coming through, but we can automate that once we have a final tree farm location. This part lines up. There is some symmetry over here, and then it kind of ignores symmetry for a bit, but it gives more space for this system. Okay, so this did get finally set up. We've just been working on our creosote, so we got 10 buckets so far. So I was able to get my new not camera. It feels like a camera because that's what I've been doing most of the day. I was able to get my new dealio done up, my new I'm trying to think of the word for this. My new computer. I'll edit out how long. There was like a good solid 20 seconds of blankness there. But so I did get my new computer set up, so I think we're probably going to end the episode with a quick tour of what I found for our future base location. I'm so excited. Also, I'm going to add a little snippet here. Well, no, I can't actually. I won't add the snippet from the stream where I determined I was going to be on this, but let's just say I landed a helicopter.
directly on a waystone, and it was a sign from above that we needed to live this in the new place. I'll see if I can grab the rest of my waypoints, but uh, from my other computer, so many things to pick up from the other computer still. But the new base, it's going to be our LV to HV base location at the minimum, and I'm so excited for this. It is so fun. Um, the location of it isn't too far from where we had from our base area, so it's only about 5,000 blocks, I think. And we will have access to ocean, which I'm really excited about. We got a whole set of mountain ranges here, this beautiful river, and this lovely scenery here along the ocean. So I'll roll a much prettier clip that has all of the stuff loaded in for you guys to see. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me. I'm really excited to see what we continue on with, and I'm really excited to have this charcoal automated. It was time. So I hide behind the capoc. And we don't talk about that. No one talks about that. Thank you for joining me. Have a good one.